Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to have some fighting words. Before we go any further, you know the drill. I need for you to like this video, please subscribe, and hopefully we can get this video circulated. So we have Anthony Joshua looking for another trainer, an American trainer to be exact. I have seen some clips of Anthony Joshua training with Ronnie Shields, who used to train both of the Charlo brothers. Now only trains one. But I mean, the family's still tight. Both of them are always over there. So, but whatever. So AJ's been training with him, and I don't know if it's like a done deal or not. But basically, it could just be like a trial, just to feel each other out. To feel how he trains, and how receptive you are to my training style, and just what I require from you being my fighter. The move to get another trainer, I I don't know. I don't find it to be the biggest deal in the world. I know a lot of people are like, loyalty and yada yada yada. Listen, you could still have somebody around, but I mean, look at Deontay Wilder. He brought in a brand new trainer, but Jay Diaz is still there. He's still there. He's still in the mix. He's just not the head trainer, but he's still in the mix. So I don't necessarily have a problem with it. And I've seen a few people are like, he's not loyal, but I'm like, what are you talking about? This is a lonely sport. Like, he's in there by himself. It's not about being loyal to other people. I mean, it's a very selfish sport but listen, it's all guts and therefore all the glory. Simple as that. It's not about being loyal to this guy, loyal to that guy. I believe his trainer took him as far as he could, and I don't think there's any bad blood. Not mainly because of the way Anthony Joshua is. I think he's a very respectable guy, and I don't think he's the type of guy that's like, "Oh, I lost, and it's your fault, and I'm out of the door." I don't think he's that type of guy. I mean, we have seen that in other fighters. Oscar De La Hoya do it in a hot second. Like, if he loses, you're out. But I don't think he's that type of guy. He doesn't strike me as that type of guy. He strikes me as the type of guy who probably have you over for tea or something like that and be like, listen, I made a decision to go elsewhere to get the rest of my training. Now, one of the things that really struck me with Anthony Joshua is he said, the training process is over. Number one, you waited for your second loss to feel as if the training process is over. That's a problem. Brother, the training process was over when you collected your first check for your first professional fight. I'm sorry, I get it. You don't have a deep amateur background, and I understand, in the UK, they don't have the deepest amateur system. But for you to think that after winning multiple titles, you were still in the learning process? Dude, you weren't in the learning process. That was over years ago. You should not have had a learner's mindset. You should have been long removed from a learner's mindset. Like, what are you talking about? The learning process is over. Dude, you don't need to lose to know that the learning process is over. And you're at a serious disadvantage. Number one, I don't even know how you operated for so long and won for so long in a learner's mindset. Like, I'm learning the game. And for some reason, the UK fighters and trainers are big into we're still learning and I'm like, dude, you got like 20 fights. What are you learning? Yes, you can improve if that's what you mean. You can improve on your jab. You can improve and learn little things. But when you say, like, I'm learning, like, I'm not a graduate yet. If you got a belt, you're a graduate. In my mind, you're a graduate. Now, you all please drop lines, and I'm pretty sure with this video, from me saying these things, you will. But what do you mean you're like, the learning process is over? Like, and I've heard a lot of UK trainers say this, like, oh, he's still learning. Daniel Dubois, he's still learning. And I'm like, he's young, but fine. Mike Tyson was 17, 18. Nobody was screaming out, this kid's learning. Young Cassius Clay fought Sonny Liston. He was what, 19, 20? Nobody was like, whoa, I don't know if he's ready because he's still learning. No. You get in there and fight. You'll find out if you need some more learning. You'll find out real quick. After round one, You'll find out. And if you make it to round 10, you'll definitely know exactly what you need learning on. How about that? But it's just a weird thing for him to say, and then he's like, uh, you know, F losing. And I'm like, dude, you should have always had that mindset. What? I do not know how you operated this long with a mindset like that. Once you lose, you get annoyed with losing. And with Anthony Joshua, he's such a passive personality. So when you see him in the press conference, he's like, well, it's a learning process, and I'm not gonna go home and cry and yada yada yada. But I get it. If you're saying that right after the fight, there's cameras in your face, and people want to know. They came to see you. They certainly didn't come to see Usyk. They came to see you. So I get it. If that's what you want to portray. But now it's like F losing, and the learning process is over. So now your frustration and now your emotion is finally coming out. And this is the real you, and I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see you riled up, and I'm happy to see that you don't want to lose. You should have never wanted to lose, but at least we're here now. I mean, it took you 2 losses. You can't be complacent. This is not the game to be complacent. You can be complacent in basketball or football. It's a team sport. If you're not feeling it on that night, they'll sit you down. There's somebody else they can put on the field or the court. It doesn't work like that in boxing. If you're not feeling it, you might die. If you're not feeling it, you get knocked out. If you're not feeling it, you lose by decision. TKO. So that's not the game for you to not feel it. I'm happy that I'm happy that he's around Ronnie Shields. I think of all the trainers for him to check out and scout, and I'm not sure if he's like with Ronnie Shields as of yet, but I did see some footage of them, working some pad work and things like that. I think Ronnie Shields would be a pretty solid place, in terms of trainers, and I'll say that because I know he doesn't mess around. I say that because he has worked with heavyweights in the past. I mean, he worked with Mike Tyson in the 90s. So, like, if he can work with Mike Tyson, he can clearly work with Anthony Joshua. I don't think Anthony Joshua drinks or smokes or anything like that, or does anything overly excessive or anything like that. So I don't believe he's going to be half the problem that Mike Tyson was. He doesn't have like a crazy entourage. And to my knowledge, he doesn't have a very big entourage. So he's not going to be half the headache that having Mike Tyson was. And if Ronnie Shields could deal with Mike Tyson through a training camp, a whole training camp, then I think having, Anthony Joshua should be a walk in the park. I don't see why it's going to be hard. I don't believe that's going to be Mount Everest. And from what I see of Anthony Joshua, he's a hard worker. And if you give him something in terms of a technique or something new, he will definitely absorb it. And if you give him a game plan, he will definitely try his best to implement it, as we've seen in the second fight with Andy Ruiz. So I don't believe being with Ronnie Shields is a bad place at all. I don't believe that. I don't believe being around the Charlo twins is a bad place, because those guys are ferocious. Those guys want it. And it's also a mentality. You want to be around the type of guys who have a mentality that they want it, and they're exuding that. And now, you're in the room with these guys and they want it and they're hitting the bag. And, next thing you know, I want it. And I know how it feels to be in the gym. And sometimes you might walk in slacking and dragging. Then you see somebody like just wailing on a bag and like he's getting it. And you're like, you know what, I'm about to get it too. Or you might look over and see 2 guys sparring and they're getting it. And you're like, you know what, I want it too. And whatever it is that can get you in that mindset that let's do it. Let's train hard and let's learn something today. Let's break a sweat, I don't know, let's make new ground or something, but like I don't think that's a bad place for him to be. I don't think being around the Charlo twins is a bad place for him to be. Texas has a lot of fighters, and it's definitely a fight town. So I don't feel like it's a bad place for him to be. I think him being in the States, I don't know if that means like he would consider moving over here, but I think there's more gyms and things of that nature over here, to where no matter where he goes, he'll always have some place where he can train and there'll be like a gritty, hungry feeling once he goes into that place. Um, I think it's a good move. I honestly think it's a good move. I'm happy to see him hungry because I haven't seen him hungry in a long time. Like, in my personal opinion, Anthony Joshua hasn't been hungry since, like, and I mean really hungry since like it's been a while. I'll probably say when he won the belts. You know, I'll probably say when he fought Klitschko, he was hungry. He was hungry. I'm talking about the Anthony Joshua that got put down, got up, and started firing off. That's the Anthony Joshua I want to see. You know, and I believe he has that grit in him. He definitely has the work ethic. He definitely has the grit. Deep down, he does have a mean streak. And I think Ronnie Shields can take him to another plateau. I think Ronnie Shields can take him to another place. And who knows, you know? You might see Anthony Joshua screaming out "Lions only" or something like that. So who knows? Either way, I'm excited for him. I really do like Anthony Joshua, and I think he has a lot of talent and even more potential, especially when he truly applies himself and he puts his emotion, because I think he's an emotional fighter. When he puts his emotion with his talent, when he combines those two, I think that's when we see the best Anthony Joshua. But I want to know what you guys think down below. You know the routine. Drop it. And as always, please like this video. Please subscribe to this channel.